Have you ever watched a senior engineer handle a broken system and wondered why they were not panicking? The logs are red. The release is late. Someone is asking for an update every 5 minutes. And somehow they are calm. Not lazy. Not careless. Calm. For a long time, I thought senior engineers were just smarter. Then I noticed something different. They had patterns. Not only coding patterns, thinking patterns, emotional patterns, ways of seeing the problem before touching the keyboard. So today, I want to share 7 coding patterns I stole from senior engineers. But really, they are 7 ways to suffer less while building software. When you are new, every bug feels personal. A failed build feels like an accusation. A code review comment feels like criticism. A production issue feels like proof that maybe you are not good enough. So you rush. You type faster. You explain too much. You defend your code. You try to fix 5 things at once, and the more you struggle, the more confused the system becomes. In Buddhist wisdom, suffering often begins when the mind clings. We cling to being right. We cling to speed. We cling to the idea that the code should behave the way we expected. But senior engineers seem to practice something different. They do not fight reality first. They observe it. That is the first pattern. The first pattern is simple. Before writing code, pause. A junior developer sees an error and immediately starts changing things. A senior engineer reads. They read the logs. They read the error message. They read the recent commit. They read the silence between the facts. This pause looks small from the outside, but inside, it changes everything. Because when you pause, you stop reacting to fear. You begin responding to reality. A calm mind asks better questions. What changed? Where does the error begin? What assumption did I make? What is the smallest thing I can verify? The keyboard is not always the beginning of programming. Sometimes the beginning is one quiet breath. The second pattern I stole is this. Senior engineers do not solve vague pain. They name the real problem. A stressed developer says, "The app is broken." A senior engineer says, "The payment request succeeds, but the confirmation event fails after the third-party callback." That difference matters, because vague problems create vague panic. Specific problems create direction. This is also true in life. When you say, "Everything is terrible," the mind becomes a dark room. But when you say, "I am afraid because I do not understand this part yet," a small lamp turns on. Naming the problem does not solve everything, but it reduces the shadow. In code, clarity is compassion. For yourself, for your team, for the next person who reads what you leave behind. The third pattern is one of the most important. Make the smallest safe change. When panic enters the mind, we want a big, heroic fix. Rewrite the module. Refactor the whole service. Change the architecture tonight. But senior engineers respect cause and effect. They know every change creates ripples. So they ask, what is the smallest change that proves or improves the situation? One variable, one condition, one test, one rollback safe improvement. This is not weakness, it is discipline. In Buddhist terms, every action has consequences. In engineering terms, every change has blast radius. The wise developer does not move because they are restless. They move because the next step is clear. The fourth pattern surprised me. Senior engineers often write boring code, not clever code, not code that shows off, not code that makes you feel like a genius for 10 minutes and confused for 10 months. Boring code is readable, predictable, easy to delete, easy to test. When we are insecure, we sometimes decorate our code with complexity. We want people to see how much we know. But the best engineers do not need the code to praise them. They want the code to serve. There is a quiet humility in simple code. It says, I do not need to impress you. I only need to make the next step easier. That is a very peaceful way to build. The fifth pattern is emotional. Senior engineers separate ego from feedback. A code review comment is not an attack. It is information. But when you're tired, it can feel like someone has touched an old wound. You worked hard. You tried your best. And now someone says, can we simplify this? The ego hears, you are not good enough. But that is not what the comment says. Senior engineers learn to create space. They ask, is this feedback true? Does it improve the code? Is there something I missed? They do not accept every comment blindly, but they do not defend every line like it is part of their identity. The code is not you. It is something you made. And because it is not you, it can change. That is freedom. The sixth pattern is kindness. Senior engineers code for the next person. They leave names that explain intent. They write comments only where the reason matters. They organize files so another tired human can understand them at 2 a.m. This is not just clean code. It is compassion in technical form. Because every confusing shortcut becomes someone else's suffering. Maybe that person is a teammate. Maybe it is a junior developer. Maybe it is you, 3 months later, wondering why you wrote that strange condition. A wise engineer understands impermanence. Teams change. Requirements change. Memory fades. Systems grow old. So they leave a path, not a monument. A path. The seventh pattern is the deepest. Senior engineers debug the system, but they also debug their own mind. They notice when frustration is making them skip steps. They notice when pride is making them reject help. They notice when fear is making them rush. This is where coding becomes practice, not religious practice, human practice. You sit with confusion. You observe what is true. You let go of the story that says, I should already know this, and slowly, the problem becomes smaller. Not because the code changed, because your relationship to the code changed. You stop seeing the bug as an enemy. You start seeing it as a teacher. So here are the 7 patterns again. Pause before typing. Name the real problem. Make the smallest safe change. Write boring code. Separate ego from feedback. Leave a path for the next person. Debug the mind too. None of these require you to be a genius. They require attention. And maybe that is why they are so powerful. Because many developers are not lacking intelligence. They are lacking space. Space between error and reaction. Space between feedback and defense. Space between pressure and panic. A senior engineer is not someone who never feels stress. A senior engineer is someone who has learned not to let stress drive the keyboard. So the next time your build fails, pause. Before you blame yourself, pause. Before you rewrite everything, pause. Before you defend your code, pause. The cleanest solution may not come from a faster hand. It may come from a quieter mind. If this reflection helped you, subscribe for more calm stories and practical life lessons for developers, thinkers, and anyone trying to work with less anger and more clarity. And in the comments, tell me, which pattern do you need most right now?